Good morning. Today is Wednesday, April the 13th. My name is Ron Morris. This is Moving Forward TV, your local real estate and mortgage update.
And I am Delynn Gaston. We welcome you to the show. Today's show is going to be great. It's going to be talking about appraisal issues and how to avoid them. But before we get started,
the comic of the week.
My kind of house. I can use that.
Unfortunately,
house.
a sign of the times as well, but I thought maybe they would appreciate that out there. Okay, on with the show. Today we're talking about appraisal hiccups, things we can do to avoid them, and if we have to work with them.
Yes, I am sure all of us have been in a situation recently that an appraisal has either killed our deal or come really close.
Or tried really hard
to killing our deal. So what we wanted to touch on today, we have a very good friend who is an appraiser, and she has shared with us some tips, some things that we can maybe do ahead of time before the appraiser goes out there, little fixes, little adjusting, things like that to avoid appraisal issues.
And I think there's small things, or can be small things, very inexpensive things to avoid some maybe costly, expensive.
You know, like an appraisal coming in $5 grand short or 10 grand short or something like that. So that's what we want to touch on today. Okay, some of the tips, most of these tips anyway, are really geared towards FHA. However, keep in mind with the condition of the bank portfolios and some of the properties out there, even if it's a conventional loan,
Fannie or Freddie,
they're starting to look a lot closer at the condition of the properties on those appraisals as well.
Very much
so the key thing that they're looking for is safety, soundness, and security. It's not so much
the 3 S's we were told.
Pretty anymore, but they really want to make sure the house is safe and sound and secure, that kind of thing, and that they don't have to put a lot of work into heavy-duty repairs and things like that. So the first thing I want to tell about is flooring. I just happened to be at a house today where there's a piece of carpet that is missing. This is a major issue for FHA. They are not going to allow that. It's a small section, a dinette, but the carpeting is missing. On conventional, it's not necessarily that big of a deal.
But it could be. It could be an adjustment.
The biggest problem is it could be a value adjustment. So basically the appraiser said, you know what, take $50, put a piece of carpet over that so that it doesn't bring up any red flags. This way here it looks good. Otherwise you might end up with a $5,000 or a $10,000 value adjustment.
Which could be a deal breaker.
Right.
Okay, the next item is roofs. I think most everybody out there is aware that a flat roof no longer requires an inspection. That was a recent change by FHA. Most everybody's aware of that. Unless there are signs of wear and tear, that there's a problem there. And on a normal roof, has to have a life expectancy of at least 2 years. I know if there are some shingles that are curling up or something like that, have your owner get up there or tap them down or something.
Tap them down real quick. Again, before the appraiser comes out, tap them down real quick. And if they have had like a repair to their roof, and on the inside of the house, and I know that you guys all know this, if there's like a stain on the ceiling, get some Kills, have them get some Kills, paint it, you know, so it doesn't show. We're trying to avoid the appraiser seeing anything.
And just as a reminder, the utilities need to be on, regardless if it's FHA or Fannie Mae. The utilities need to be on when that appraiser gets out.
Attic access is next. Make sure that a lot of times when people are moving out, they pile the boxes in the garage and the appraiser can't get to the attic. That's a problem. They have to do a head and shoulders inspection, so they're going to have to pull that ladder down and get up there and take a peek. So make sure, or if there's a car in the driveway,
it's
got to be out so that they can get access to the attic.
Same thing with crawl space. If there's any crawl spaces, I know in my home there's one in the master bedroom in the closet. That appraiser has got to have access to that. So make sure that's available to your appraiser.
Okay, the next thing is electrical wiring. Any exposed electrical wiring. A lot of times when people are moving out of the house, they take the ceiling fans out and the wires are hanging, and even though they cap them off, not good enough. Tell them to take $1.49, go to the store or whatever, and put a plate over it to make sure it's covering it. Otherwise, again, it's an appraisal issue.
Next item is a pool. I'm sure everybody's aware, but it cannot be green. It needs to be obvious to the appraiser that the equipment is working, the pump and filter and all that. So the water needs to be clear on the pool, of course.
And the last one is an FHA tip. However, it's about lead-based paint. If the home is built prior to 1978, it might be a potential hazard for lead paint. The thing that we have to keep in mind, a lot of times the garden people will go along the side of the house, the weed whacker and edge near the house, and let me tell you, if they chip up that paint, that is peeling paint. That is a hazard, and the appraiser, the FHA appraiser, does have to mention it. So make sure that, again, your homeowner gets out there and just fix any chipping or peeling paint that's along the side of the house, interior and exterior of the house. You know, we wanted to share these tips with you because it's come to light recently. I have a realtor partner who's called me recently on a home that someone is buying, and we were afraid we were going to have some issues. She's been in the business a while. She noticed some things in the house, so she gave me a call. I just went down and met her at the house, and I took my phone, my camera with me, and I took some pictures of some of the things that she was concerned with, trees overhanging, flooring issues, and I was able to text those to my appraiser right away and ask her, is this a problem on conventional, is this a problem on an FHA? And she got right back to me. So we know ahead of time, before a contract goes in, before an appraiser goes out, we know ahead of time to tell the homeowner what to fix. Quick little things under $50 can make this sale through just fine. So we just thought it would be great to share this information with you as well. That's our show this week. See, told you we'd keep it short. We do have some great shows coming up. We are going to get our appraiser friend on the show. She did promise she'll come on in the next few weeks sometime. We're also going to have...
We have a realtor come on, a local realtor who does nothing or specializes in short sales, has some great tips
information there, as well as Danny Green, who is the flood restoration person. He can help you get rid of all that mold in the house. He's coming on as well. So we have some good shows coming up. So on to our movie challenge.
Who won last week?
Nobody won last week. Imagine that. The movie was Anchorman, and I was told, Chris, where were you this week? You said, challenge us. So we did, and I didn't see you chime in at all. No one won this week, so we're going to try again next week.
So on to the new movie challenge.
Here it is.
I always have coffee when I watch Radar. You know that.
Of course I do, sir.
Everybody knows that.
Of course we do, sir.
Another great movie. Thanks so much for tuning in with us. Please remember our sponsors. Visit their pages. They are just a wealth of information if you have any questions about anything. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, all of that stuff. Thank you for your emails. Blog us down below. We appreciate your comments.
We really appreciate all the emails. We've been getting a lot of emails, a lot of good questions. We'd really appreciate if you would blog us a lot of those questions too. I think a lot of the audience would benefit from those questions. So by all means, please keep us in mind. Blog us down below.
Kind of a reply to all that way.
Exactly. Until then.
Thanks so much. We are
moving forward.
You know something? That was a sweet number.
It sure was.
You know something else?
What?
I hate sweet numbers.
Time was drifting, this rocket got to roll. So I hit the road and made my getaway. Restless feet